It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Gosh, where do I start? I think that's the first thing. I think it's Black people in general. Like, first of all, we're never really just seen as people. And I think I always say this, like, on our podcast, like, we're never really just seen as human beings. It's always something like this interesting person or this fascinating thing or this exotic, like your hair is very exotic, or, oh, look at how, your lips are. It's never just, this is a human being, and the truth is, like, even for like other races, they don't all just look like one thing. I know, obviously there are other narratives out there for different races, but it's, and with like Black women specifically, it's like the only thing we're here for is to entertain people, let me put it that way, or to be this type of, if you're not here for like, let's say sex, then there's no other value that you have. What else are you here for? It's an interesting thing, and for me, like I said, this is always my experience. Like, it's always something in that direction. Like, you look like this. Are you trying to seduce people, or it's like I'm just being Yeah.
So, jumping off that second subtopic, what is your most hated stereotype about Black women, and how does it make you feel?
That's difficult for me because I have
that we're very strong. Yeah, that's my worst one.
Hate that.
You're very strong. Like, and I guess in many ways, like you shake someone's hands. Oh, strong hands.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that we're like, we're so super strong. I don't know where that came from. God knows, masculine. Like, for me personally, I'm very fragile, but whatever. that's my own experience.
Not fragile.
So how does it make you feel? Like, how if you were to dig a little bit deeper, how do you think people perceiving you as strong? Yeah. How does that come across in, say, for example, in a relationship, perhaps? Yeah,
it means you can take anything, which is really problematic. It means I could treat this person any type of way, but they're so strong, and it should be fine. And there's no like care towards them. There's no like, no sort of like empathy of like, we also have feelings that we have to deal with. Yeah, it's just, strong black woman, pretty much. And I think it's even, dare I say, worse here than in some other places, I think, because it's just, you can't react to pain, you can't react to like emotions without it being like, either looked down on, I mean, I don't even want to go to the fact that I've like had a baby here and what that was like, having to go through pain and how people receive it. That's a different conversation, but it's just, for like you said, like in relationships, like with men, it's almost like, you kind of even see it like physically, the way the treatment, if you see like, in some cases, obviously, black men with black women, and how, that dynamic works physically. We're not even talking of like just the emotion, just physically when you see them relating together, or like, a black man and anything else. Yeah, there's always like that. Yeah, she can take it, and everything else is like softer, and
It's almost as if you're not allowed to be soft. Like, you can't be babied up and stuff by your boo. And I'm like, why not? And like Mariam, what she said, that you're expected to take anything. So I'm like, I think, I'm not a man, but I think in men's heads, it's like, oh, I can just bring any type of fuckery to her and she's just going to take it lying down, or she's going to forgive. She's going to be this strong person because, and I don't understand, does it come from culture? Where does it come from? Yeah. And I also hate it when we as black women say it to ourselves, I'm a strong black woman. I used to say it because I thought at some point it's empowering, but I realized, no, it's not. Because when I say it in the workplace, it means more workload on me.
Absolutely.
In a relationship, it also means I'm just taking whatever if the person is also not a very good person. So I stopped using that statement. I'm very soft. I'm not fragile, but I'm soft. Like,
I'm fragile. I'll take it.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to ask you that what you think about, because it's been around for quite a while. Strong black woman trope, and I think a lot of women did run with it, and a lot of men also grasped on it and just, all right, you're strong, so
No.
So how, as a community now, as both black men and black women, how do we work towards kind of changing that narrative?
How about, first and foremost, we just treat each other like human beings first?
Good point. And
also, how about we try and stop hiding behind culture? Like, for example, a lot of people hide behind, if a woman is taking over a lot of, like, stuff, if she's carrying most of the workload in a relationship or marriage or whatever, a lot of people want to hide behind culture and say it's cultural, this is where we're at. No, it's not culture most of the time, it's just the patriarchy. So how about we just work together and realize, you know what, we're in 2024, we can have a different dynamic that looks a bit different from what our parents had or our grandparents had.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to live like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, mine is a little bit emotional, I'll say, because so even in, let's say, Black Nigeria, so like you said, this narrative exists between us. So it's not just when we're, in the diaspora, also back home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's also that strong black woman narrative, even if everybody is black, and I kind of come from a family of very, very strong black women, in the sense that I have, like, some aunties that were, like, single moms. My mom was also a single mom and things like that. And, one time I was actually talking to my mom about this, and this was interesting. And I was like, what do you think? Do you think this was just something that happened in your generation where the men weren't really, say, up to standard and you guys just weren't having it? Or what would it be? Or was it like, sorry, in my own case, it was just a joke, but I was like, oh, was it like some type of juju or something? But obviously, my mom was just like, nah, that's ridiculous. But then she did say something. She was like, one time, one of their uncles actually said, oh no, because, all the women in this family are, like, very strong and they come from a lineage of, like, very strong women. So, because you're able to handle it. I'm like, what does that even mean? So they don't deserve love and, like, people that can just behave, like you said, like decent human beings. Like, so they don't deserve to have those things because they're so strong. To be honest, I don't know what we can do to move forward. I'm not going to lie. Like, because when I see stuff like that, and this isn't like, comparing black women to other races of women, this is just, in a black country, let's put it that way, and it's still perceived as that. I don't know. I think, like Rufaro said, it just has a lot to do with the patriarchy. But yeah, I unfortunately can't answer that one. Yeah, I think obviously men have to do better, and I have also seen the other side of it, right? I've also seen the other side of, like, really stand-up men, and how they, take care of their families and do things like that without putting down the woman, obviously. So I don't know. I think a lot of it comes down to personalities as well. I don't know. I think it's a really complicated one, to be honest. Yeah. I
mean, to be honest, I feel like the eyes of all the men watching this will be on me for me to be kind of like pushing back on some of these things. But we're not here for gender wars. Like I said, this is going to be therapeutic, so we have to listen to the women. The men will have their time, so I'm not going to push back on anything. I just want to give you a platform to speak on it. Obviously.